Welcome back to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones. If you're just joining us, you've missed a whole lot, but there's still plenty in store for you. We're discussing with ALFRED ARITA. He is a coach and author of soon-to-be 5 books.
Yes.
We're about to launch the other one. We're talking about the one he's about to launch. The banner is right there, 20 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Was 20. And he was just giving us some of the nuggets in his upcoming book.
Yes.
Take us through some of the other things that you may wish to share here.
Now, maybe just lay a background on how did I arrive on that book. Is personally, there are things I wish I knew. I have had to face life. I've had to learn the hard way on things that no one told me. That's what I'm thinking. Why should I have young people coming to be where I am when I can actually share what I've learned? So one of the things I wish I knew, because one of the questions they ask me all the time is about success. Every young person wants to succeed. Recently, Levi, they did a survey, and they wanted to find out from young people. And the question was, if there was a shortcut to becoming a millionaire, how many of you would go back to school? None of them said they would go back to school. They said, if there was a shortcut to success, I'll take it. In fact, whether it's through under the sea, I'll take it. So the thing is, there is no shortcut to success. So I love to try and help them have a more balanced perspective about success. So one of the things I tell them is, there's nothing like an overnight success.
Yeah.
Stop thinking like there's something you can do like, pah, because success is not an event, it's a process.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you mentioned that.
Yes.
Just this morning, I was looking at social media. Was talking about, you remember the girl who had 102 million in her account?
Yeah.
It was frozen.
Yes.
Apparently, there's another one.
Oh, really?
With about 113 million, from the same guy.
Mm. Wow.
So, you know, KRA is talking about maybe it's a money laundering scheme. But you should have seen the comments. The lady is there asking, you know, how do I get into this WhatsApp group?
I'm telling you.
Yeah?
And they're not joking.
They're not joking, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
How do I do this, you know? And even they did a study and said, if you could, the way you're saying, shortcut to success, but even they said, you know what, how many young people would be willing to be corrupt to get rich?
So many.
If you knew, you would not be caught.
Absolutely, so many.
So many.
Almost a good percentage, actually. And that's why they engage into drugs, because they're told you can sell drugs and make money. I was in a school in this country, big school. And the drug thing was a menace in that school. They even told the principal, take care of your job, leave us alone. This is a huge business. We're in business, leave us alone. So why are they doing that? They believe that somehow you can juggle between studies, so you're not a lawyer to your parents, and make some money. That's why it's very easy for young people to get into cults that promise a shortcut to wealth. The other day, a young man confessed in a school. Those are stories I'm telling that are real. A young man confessed that he was getting to a level when he had joined a cult. He was getting to a level whereby he was only to give a very precious person, most likely a parent, and then he would take off. We were asking them, what will it benefit you to have millions and your mother is not there to enjoy the wealth? When you know too well, that's what you did. So one of the principles in that book is, success is not overnight. It's a process that takes a long time. There is time in this that requires patience. So there is no instant success. Like now these days you can see young people, there is all those songs you hear, Spangwing and everything, they believe I will just do a hit song, get to 1 million views, begin earning. You get to that point. But if you look at most of them, you hear their stories, they are frustrated because when it doesn't happen, they get back to their coach, why didn't happen? They've been doing all manner of things. So one of the things that I have learned as a person is patience. You have to be very patient, work slowly towards success. It will take you, in fact, one comedian, an American comedian, made a statement many years ago, and he said, it took me 20 years to have an overnight success. 20 years. What he was trying to say is there's nothing like once you just becomes rich. It took him a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of determination, a lot of willingness to be able to get where you are. There are many people today who think they have seen me in big meetings, they have seen me maybe drive a good car, or they have seen me sell books, and they think, wow, how did you get here? I remember one particular young man who worked with me in a meeting where I was speaking, and we sold quite some good books. And he happened to have seen the figure that we sold. Then he asked me in the car, how can I also write a book? Because this is good business. But I would design his motive. It's not to share. And I keep telling people, if you want, like I know you have been wanting to do that forever, and yet you're not even in a hurry, but it's supposed you want to give. How to know you will succeed in writing is not that you want to get. The attitude should be, I want to give. I want to share what I know. If that is your attitude, believe you me, you will succeed. But I want to get. How do you make money? I want to get. That's different.
You'll be in a hurry, you'll churn out something.
Yeah. But when you want to impact, you want to empower, you want to help, you want to guide, you want to mentor, you want to give. That's the difference. Because you cannot receive unless you give. So don't seek to receive. So that's the thing I've learned. There is no shortcut to becoming rich. You have to sit under mentors. You have to go to school. You have to read hard. You have to wake up earlier. You have to get out of the bed. One of the things I tell young people is the bed is the most comfortable dream killer in the world. Because once you love bed, the Bible says a little slumber, a little sleep, and poverty will strike in like an armed robber.
Yeah.
So success is for those guys who are willing to go out of their comfort zone. Not what I'm seeing in schools these days. It is those who wake up earlier, whether it rains or not. It's those who dance in the rain. Those who run. These days we tell them you don't move by running. Even you move by disappearing.
Yeah.
You disappear.
You made me think about a documentary I was watching for Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm sure you know Ronaldo.
I do.
Yeah.
Very much.
Still at the peak of his career, and he's 37 years old, scoring goals left, right, and center.
Yes.
But in this particular documentary, he was doing free kicks. He was taking up to 1,000 free kicks per day.
I'm telling you.
To the point where he said he got to a point where it became so natural that even before he kicks the ball, he can see where it's going in.
I'm telling you.
It's practice.
I've seen him.
The hidden thing is practice. This guy is not just magical.
Now that is the word you brought. It is practice. It is done over and over and over. I was watching some guys. I love documentaries. I was watching this guy's basketball.
Yeah.
How someone throws a ball from midfield until he scores still amazes me. Yeah. Without missing. The guy just...
And we clap and we think...
And we clap, and in fact we clap and you wonder it's magic. This guy, wow, wow, this guy is great. Yeah. That reminds me, one time there was an interview in CNN. It's also in the book, and this guy was really heaping praises on some basketballer. Man, you are so talented. How do you do this? You don't miss. You've missed few. How do you call those when you
the shots?
The shots. You missed very few shots. They were saying, listen, you make it appear like it is so easy. It's not just talent. Talent is 10% there, 90% is hard work. And that's where we go wrong. Yeah. Most young people think when I'm talented, have you ever seen young people, they walk around, mimi niko na talent. Talent is one thing. All these guys are gonna Diamond, and then one else who's making money today, it's not just talent. Those guys worked their tails off. Yeah.
And in the hard work, there are misses.
If the hard work misses, talent will not do anything.
No, I'm saying in the hard work, there are misses. Yeah, there are misses. For example, do you feel like there are times you write a book and you think this is not it? Yeah, we'll come there. Of course, when you're doing when the hard work comes, there will be false starts. There is a book I've ever done. I'm like, this is it, and it didn't turn out. So just like in business, people do business and they close. All those ups and downs are there in business, but it doesn't negate the fact that you need to work hard. You must keep on working, and that's where the word perseverance comes in. You are working and you're not seeing results, and you're like, do I give up? No, don't give up. Keep moving, keep trying. Remember this guy was this guy we call Thomas Edison. Yeah. Who did the bulb? Yes. He tried many times until he became crazy. People were like, "You're crazy, young man. What are you doing? You've been doing this so much." I said, "No, I've never missed. I've never failed. I've learned different ways, and I know to succeed. And I know one day I will succeed." So there's a book by John Maxwell that is called Failing Forward. In the hard work, you will fail many times, but it is by failing that you succeed. Yeah, so you keep trying. But you can't just sit there and say, well, I am praying. And this is why I want to talk to people of faith. Sometimes you can very easily be in the comfort zone in the name of faith. I'm waiting upon God. When God is actually waiting on you, you need to get up, do something. God moves with the movers. You begin writing, begin speaking, and God will use you. Some of those things God said, and these signs and wonders will follow you, not where you are praying.
where you are doing something. This gospel, this hope is needed out there in the marketplace. And one of the things I have experienced personally, there are miracles that met me as I went. I left the house, told God, I can't even pray, I'm tired, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, but as I go do something, and He did while you're there. So we need to, all of us need to rise up to something. I don't want to die before I leave something behind. Yeah. I want to have something. So one of the principles is that there is no overnight success. You need to work it slowly, be patient. The next thing that is very important that I want every young person to understand in this book, that's very critical, is that success where God is not involved is meaningless, utterly meaningless. When you're pursuing to be successful, but God is not in the picture, if God is not involved, then it's not meaningful. Let me explain what meaningful is. Meaningful means the kind of success that brings fulfillment to you and honors God. Whereby, I would like you to be an engineer, a pilot. I would like you to be a good lawyer. I would like you to be a good professor. I would like you to be able to be a good business person, but who honors God. That every money that you get from that, part of it, as something it does that God is honored. There are people in this country who have all the money, but for themselves. And that's why those who give to God, there's a difference. I'm telling the truth. Whichever you look at it, whoever gives, and he says, I'm doing something, there's a difference. So the thing is, involve God in what you do, and tell God that if you bring me to this place, I'll make sure that it is for the good of the people that you have called me to serve, but also for your glory.
I hear you. Now I have to ask you before you run out of time here.
Yes.
You've also mentored people.
Yeah.
In fact, recently I saw you at a
Move and Pick.
At a launch.
Yeah.
Move and Pick ni hoteli inazunguka.
Here, Westlands.
Yeah.
Nice hotel, man.
And very nice hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that mentorship.
That lady is a friend of mine. Actually, you see this book I have. This is a gift she gave me. This is one of the books called Leadership Through the Eyes of a Prisons Officer. She's called Waneni Kreri. It's an amazing woman. She's the commandant of prisons training college in Ruiru. I'd been invited to want to speak there by one of my friends called Saina, actually. Saina calls me to want to speak to the young people there. Then I meet the commandant. We fell in love with each other, and then she began loving my books, and we talked. She's a counselor by training also, so she's been desiring to share something. So I began coaching her 4 years ago, and the first book she did was Disruptor. When she got into, she used to be in Embu, then came to Langata prisons, then to Kamiti, then to Ruiru. She did so much under Kibaki's government. You remember the days with Moody Award, the reforms in prisons? Yeah. Those correctional facilities, for many years, it used to be like Malia Mateso, but they changed a lot of things. There were a lot of reforms, and she was part of it. So she felt, or she saw herself as a disruptor, someone who gets into a place and you change stuff. Disruptors are leaders. Leaders don't get satisfied with the way things are. If a leader comes here and tell you, hey, I don't like the way things are. But for managers, everything is good. This place is nice. You just manage the way it is. Yeah. So that's how the book came. She shared her story, her perspectives of how you can get into a place and bring change. And then the other one, Leadership Through the Eyes of a Prisons Officer, she wanted to share perspectives, especially in this time we are heading into an election period where there's a problem in a lot of organizations because of leadership. And she's saying in this book, all things rise and fall on leadership. If you fix leadership, then you fix an organization. If you fix leadership, then you fix the country. And so those are the things she says in that book. And we were doing a launch. We planned for that for a very long time. But finally we did it. And the CS graciously accepted to come, Dr. Matiangi. And we did a beautiful launch. It was a very big launch. And people came, friends, we celebrated the book. Now it's out there in the market. It's doing very well. It's a challenge to everyone in their place that you don't have to wait until, you don't have to say, I must be in the university to write books. Even from that
wait
place.
Till I'm 80.
Yeah.
I tell my story, uko mwisho.
Yeah, uko mwisho. Uko mwisho never comes sometimes.
So and it could be today.
I challenge principals of schools. I challenge people who have run businesses. Share what you've learned, including your failures. In fact, I'm learning more from people's failures. I love sharing my failures more than my successes because when you share successes, people feel like you're bragging. But you tell people, I failed. Yeah. Like, no, I'm a failure of many things.
It makes you vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would
They will resonate with you.
Yeah, they will resonate, yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us have got a failure somewhere maybe we are not talking about.
And we fear to talk about it because of stigma. We fear being labeled.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, there are many areas I've failed, and I'm asking God to help me. Most people look at me and think, you have done very well. I have done fairly well in some areas. There are areas I've not done well. I'm still work under progress. I'm working. If all of us would be able to come out and say, hey, don't ever think I am perfect. I'm working on myself. We will help so many people, as opposed to where you paint a picture of someone who's doing extremely well. You've never had a problem in the world. You've never suffered. You've never had a setback. It's not true. Then that cannot be, it can't be life, Levy. You must be having something where you are trusting God to help you. All of us, even right now, there are areas you keep telling God, if you can remove this, help me to do this. That's why we keep on, he keeps on chiseling those bad things here and there until we become what he wants us to be. It is not as, it cannot be a one-year thing or a one-day thing. It's a gradual process.
It is a gradual process.
So she's one of my mentees, and I need to say this. Do you know when I began doing this, I didn't know so many people needed a coach. So a lot of people came out and they reached out to me. I've been able to help people. I have over 40 titles today. Apart from my books, I've been able to help people. Over 40 people today write books in this country. And most of them are doing very well. And I'm always very humbled.
Yeah, that's it's very impressive. What's a take home for you when that happens?
Well, you know, seeing someone succeed, seeing someone become achieve their dream, and I'm the one who I gave a hand, I lent a hand. I mean, it's fulfilling, it's so gratifying. You know, like I know a lady, a friend of mine called Anne. She came from a family of 13, a mother blind. She passed on last year. We met. She didn't know how to do a book. She wondered how to write a book, but our story ended up becoming a powerful story. One day you should bring her here. She had a story, did a book called Rise Above Your Past. Today she travels all over the country, speaks to people, trains. She has a story. She's a counselor. And I look at her today, and I look at the person I met 7 years ago, totally different. You know so many of them. You know, including Davis Nyakundi. Yes. My son. He was in the university, didn't know he could do that, but today he's doing very well. He is doing very well. So when I see them doing that, I feel very excited. And there are many more, I cannot even mention. I have so many that I've been able to do books, principals of schools. We met in a school and they were like, I've always wanted to write. I said, madam, I can help you do this. Tell me, since you're a gentleman who encourages, you know it's a Christmas season. There are people who are watching us today who have got nothing to celebrate about this year. That's true. What do you tell them? I'll tell them what you know, it was just a bad year. Things just went. Well, it's been a bad year, but I'll tell you, for other people, it's been a great year. And I want us to begin to say that if you can hear us today, it's a great year. If you are alive today to watch us, to listen to us. Jack Ma said something very profound. Beginning of this year, he said, this year, leave alone all your resolutions and all your goals. In fact, if you can be alive by the 1st of December, then you have achieved. Because you see now these flus are changing variants every other day. This one right now, I don't know. And it's interesting because I've been... Majina pia ni mpya. Majina ni mpya. You know, you hear of... very interesting. You wonder, where were they? Yeah. So the thing is, leave alone all the things you didn't achieve. The fact that you've been able to come to the end of this year, we need to be grateful. One of the attitudes I have nurtured and I've inculcated in myself that I've really developed is the attitude of gratitude. Beginning to count the good things that went right. You know, I've driven this country, Levy. I've been involved in road accidents. Not once. If you look at this is a mark, a vehicle overturned. So when I sit here, I'm a miracle. I didn't achieve so many things, by the way, this year. But the few I've achieved, I'm so grateful. So I want us to have hope because next is another year. That statement, when you say tomorrow is another day, it was not meant just to be another statement. It's a statement of encouraging yourself that I may not have achieved all I wanted to achieve in 2021, but 2022 is coming. And who knows, God may have allowed you to be able to go through what you've gone through this year, which is a breakdown. But next year is your time for breakthrough. And it's good to celebrate. Yeah. You know, it's interesting when people are celebrating, and you know, sometimes we tell people the gift of appreciating yourself, and they take it for granted. Like, you know, if you have a broken leg, all you want to do is walk. I'm telling you. You don't want money. You don't care for your job. You just want to walk. Do you know, I was with my sister-in-law who passed in Nairobi Hospital last year. And my life changed. I have never been in a ICU. like I was that time. I've always just gone to pray and go, pray and go. But I was next to her until she died. And I'm telling you, I changed how I see life. Now I appreciate every second of my life.
Yeah, for guys who went on ventilators, all you have to do is breathe on your own.
Just you can breathe.
Just take oxygen, that's it.
You can breathe. These days, you challenged us to begin running. I've been running, by the way.
Yeah, we are running.
I've been
we are running now.
And it's
December,
great.
But yeah.
So the thing is, don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope, because if you're alive, there is time. There is time, and if you did have a testimony this year, next year will be a time for a testimony.
Yeah. So we're almost out of time. This book, 20 Things I Wish I Knew.
Yes.
When are we seeing it?
January. End of January, we are launching the book. I want 2022 to be the year where we are looking back, because you see, why I feel I need to release it early is because most of the things I'm answering, the questions I'm answering are the questions parents asking me. What should we do with these young people? Something has gone wrong. And I'll tell you 3 things. In the work of social media, a lot has gone wrong. We gave our young people these phones. They watch Levi Conness in Villarosa Kempinski, and they wonder, I want to be in that life. Yeah. They forget their maths, and they forget they're supposed to be. Yeah.
And we open them up to teachers we don't even know.
We don't even know. And then, someone said, don't you squander your seed because you've seen someone who's enjoying the harvest. I need to explain that, because someone has worked very hard, is enjoying, you see him flying all over the place. You, at your time of building, of planting, then you squander that chance because you want to be like that person. He didn't get there overnight. So we want to help our young people to know that high school is the most precious moment that they have. I keep telling them that it's a very short time, and a very precious time that you may never.
It's a very short time.
It's a very short time.
I told my daughter the other day, she told me it's a very short time.
4 years is a very short time.
It's over.
And what you do with it determines the rest of your life.
Yes.
What you do in high school. So I want them to understand that. So the other problem that we have seen is this generation of peer pressure. A lot of peer pressure. Yeah. Everyone wants to do what everyone is doing. There's something called FOMO, the fear of missing out. Everyone is relating. Why not me? Everyone is twerking. Why not me? Everyone is doing something. Why not me? And a lot of them are losing themselves in the process because they do not know how to manage themselves. So I want them to understand that if you really want, because I talk about associations here, I'm telling them you can never fly high like an eagle if you keep the company of chicken. A lot of them are, I keep asking them, have you ever seen a serious professional, a principal, a lady, taking a photo and twerking? It can't work. You cannot see that. You have never seen Michelle Obama. You have never seen Oprah Winfrey. You have never seen any of the ladies that have done very well. Margaret Kenyatta. You have never seen Rachel Ruto doing all those things. What is making our young people think you can twerk on TikTok? Peer pressure. Because we have a few wrong role models that are doing that, who don't have their head.
And the shelf life is short. How long will it work?
How long will it work? It's a very short time. And I tell people, when you are in your 17, 18, don't you think you need to be slapped with 10 more years to be 29? And you'll be amazed. Another 10, that 9. You're not the same that you used to do that. So we need to invest our time when you're young. Those are the things I wanted to answer in this book. And one of the things also that is in that book that I think is very important is you must be willing to sacrifice some things today in order to enjoy tomorrow. One of those things you must sacrifice today is these phones, social media, bad friends, a lot of food, sleep, all those you must sacrifice today. If you want to live tomorrow and sleep in a good bed, drive a good car, fly around the world, go for holidays, otherwise I'm telling you, and that's the hard conversation I want to struggle with them. Let's not tell them kababa too much. Tell them the truth. Listen, if I die tomorrow, and I tell my children the same, if I'm not there tomorrow, it is what you have done in school that can help you live a good life. Otherwise, if I die today, this house you live in, you'll be told, Sasa toka hapa, enda somewhere. It cannot be the same life again. So we need to have a firm and friendly, let me call it a friendly but firm conversation with them. Friendly but firm. We need to tell them, listen, if you don't invest your time well, you will regret later. You will wish you knew. That's why I give you the book. I wish I was told these things. Now that you have, you can hear it from a mentor, implement them in your life.
I like that. I like that. It's unfortunately we're out of time. But you know what I like the most about your book? It's like a, and I haven't even seen it, but I see it like a road sign.
Yes, 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 it is.
You know how we
It's
say
a warning.
bumps ahead,
Yes.
pothole mbele, slow down. Some people speed through the signs, but those who actually read them,
Yes.
slow down and
That's
escape.
true. And
And escape the drama.
And they save their lives.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that I want to say this before, because we were talking about the youth, it's December. I know a lot of you are watching and you may be saying, you didn't tell us what to do over December. One of the principles I've shared here is there's a difference between enjoying your youth and destroying your future. It's a difference. What we call enjoying yourself today is actually destroying your future. Because the future is what you have to work today. And the only way you can be sure of the future is to prepare for it. But if you're busy destroying it through the things you do, through parties, through mbogies, you know, those groups, one day you'll wish what you were calling enjoying your youth, you're destroying your future. So over this December holiday, why don't you stay home and help your parents? Why don't you read a new book? Why don't you just sit and do some exercise for your body? Why don't you stay home and help? Mentor your young sister, your brother. Stop going out there and walking all over the place. You need money you don't have. You need money for your airtime you don't have. So you need money for parties you don't have. Why don't you stay home and read, prepare for your future? Because you can't just wish for your future.
Yeah.
You don't wish for success, Levi. You work for success. So these young people should be told that it's not as easy as it sounds. That, oh, tumejua shule tuko nyumbani. Nyumbani wapi? In a short while, you'll be in your own house. And in your own house, when you realize, you wish. And I don't want anyone to say, I wish like myself. There's so much I wish I knew. And that's what I wish they can know now in that book.
Yeah. You know, I had a teacher who used to say, masomo mingi, kazi kidogo, pesa mingi.
Absolutely.
And you say masomo kidogo, kazi mingi, pesa kidogo.
Now, what do you will mambo? Can I tell you the other day, if you have a minute, I was just making a joke with one of my young men. Let's go and I was looking for a gearbox for my car, a gearbox. And I realized a car has employed so many people, from those who wash the car, those who do puncture repairs. You get? There are those who do wiring. But there are those who do the programming of computers.
Yeah.
Their money is different. Our professionals. There's a guy who comes and fixes a machine into the car and tells you your braking system is not doing very well.
Yeah.
And
it charges you 1.5 for that.
For 5 minutes.
For telling you what's wrong.
Yes, for telling what is wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a guy here who washes the car paka matope na apate 100. You get the difference. And there are those who sell gearbox. Here anaguzia gearbox 150 na cheki na wewe. Kama utaki uende. So same industry, but people are earning differently. You choose where to be. In the same road that is being worked today from Westlands to airport, kuna jamaa pala yeye hayuko huko, alidesign akamaliza. He earned his millions, not small money.
Anatumiwa picha tu anakuambia
hapo, no, I've checked something, you need to stop. I need to come and check. And he gets his money and then Mombasa holiday. But there are guys who are there every day because they must work to earn. Because wow, they are not skilled. It's called unskilled labor. Wewe unaambiwa lima hapa. Kama hakuna siku ya kulima, engineer akisema simamisha nikuje kuangalia amukuli siku hiyo. So it's you to choose. You're in the same class. Some guys that are doing that job, there are those who are engineers. Even in the hospital, there are guys who just, the other day I realized you need to go see a doctor. You pay 5,000. Serious doctors in Nairobi today for consultation.
True.
Peke yake tu 5,000. Okay?
Tell you what's wrong with you.
To tell you what's wrong with you, na kutumia lab several tests. They make good money because they read. Okay? But there are also those guys who work in the hospital, from the watchman, wanafungulia magari yanaingia hospital. So it's the same hospital, but you don't do the same jobs depending on what you did in school. And that's why for me, high school must never be squandered. That's why all of us stakeholders, parents, teachers, mentors, pastors, lawmakers, we must find a way on how to make sure that this thing called banning of schools must stop. We must find ways on how we can create an enabling environment for schools for learning to happen, for mentorship to happen, for growth to happen, so that we can prepare citizens who can face life and beat life and pass the exam of life.
Alfred ARITA. Even for a short time. Wow, wow, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, bro.
Anytime, sir.
We look forward to you getting that book. We'll come back and talk about it again.
Thank you.
Alfred ARITA, life coach, author. Soon to release the book, 20 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Was 20. Where can they find you before we close?
I can leave my number. Those who want to get the books.
Sure, sure.
My number is 0721-848727. 0721-848727.
Can I go social media, sindio?
Social media, Alfred ARITA Abundance on social media. You can always follow me and then keep discussing. Alfred ARITA Abundance on social media.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for. We want to wish you a nice weekend just before we break into the Christmas break.
Merry Christmas as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Thank you.
And a Happy New Year to all of you. God bless you. Good day.